Math 2 Unit 9, but lesson 7.5, Part 2. Okay, so last time we were mainly dealing with, what's this figure called? Hexagon. Okay, today we're going to look at an equilateral triangle. Now, if we have a 90-degree triangle, that's easy. It's like your base times height. If you have the height of the triangle, you're good. But in an equilateral triangle, you can't do your base times height divided by 2 because you don't have the height. Okay? And so we are going to use that same formula that we used before. Okay? So they already gave us the central angle, but again, if this wasn't given, we would take 360, and since there are how many sides? 3, we would divide by 3 and get 120. So that's where the 120 came from. Okay, just like yesterday, once we have that, what do we do next? Yes, we're going to draw the apothem because that's going to end up making a triangle, a right triangle, where we can end up finding the apothem. For all of them, because if this were in an inscribed circle, it would have 360 degrees, and in order to get that angle, you divide by 120, because it's like these would each be the radius coming, or the radii going out. Okay? All right, so I'm going to take that triangle out of the figure to help myself with the information I need. Okay, what would be the degree up here? 60. Why is it 60 this time? Because you're cutting 120 in half. Okay? And so if that is 60, down here is going to be 30. Also, if this is 8, then over here this is also 8. Okay? And so based on that, we know that our hypotenuse, or our radius, is 8. So we can go ahead and write that over here. Now, my equations for finding, we need to find our apothem, but we also need to find this base as well. Okay? So, what equations am I going to use? Good. And then the other one is long leg equals. Good. Okay, so over here, across from my 30 is my short leg, and across from the 60 is my long leg. So I know my hypotenuse, and so we would write 8 equals 2 times my short leg, and we divide by 2, so that means that the short leg is what? 4. Okay, and so right here this is 4, which means that my apothem is 4. Okay, and then how do I find the long leg? 4 square root 3, because all we're doing is multiplying the short leg times root 3. So that means right here this is 4 root 3, which means this is 4 root 3. And this is different than our hexagons because these distances ended up being the same distances down here, but in our equilateral triangle, this is not the same distance. In fact, you can tell that this distance and this distance isn't the same, right? Okay, so my whole side is how much? What is 4 root 3 plus 4 root 3? 8 root 3. Are we okay with that? So my perimeter then is going to be what? How am I going to find the perimeter? How many sides are there? 3. So we're going to go 3 times 8 root 3, which makes 24 root 3. Okay, and then we're going to find our area with our formula, which is apothem, in this case, 4 times the perimeter, 24 root 3, divided by 2. Okay, so 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 24 root 3 will be 48 root 3 is my area. Okay, and again down here, they just kind of showed you how they split it all up, where all the information is. We already found all this stuff. My perimeter is 24 root 3, and my area is 48 root 3. Do we have questions before moving on to another example? Okay. Do you guys want a few minutes to try this one on your own? Good. Okay. Try it. You can work in your groups. Same idea. This time, though, they gave you the... Oh, that's still a radius. And if you want to, you could draw all of these out here, right? It's the same as above. They just have the line drawn in a different location.
So they're all 2?
Mm-hmm. So each of these are all 2, which ends up becoming your radius or your hypotenuse, either way you want to think of that. Okay, once you get the answer, raise your hand and I'll come by and check it.
So you need 2 over 2 or 2 over... So it'd be 2 over 2, and then 2 over 2.
That's one of our 36 formulas. And so you would get that so 1 Oh, you got it? Okay. I'll be right back there, Francisco. That's right. Perfect. This is right. There's only 6 sides. There's only 3 sides. So it doesn't matter which one you do. Yeah. And so remember that here, because this is 2, so that one is 2, right? If this whole thing was 120, that means that was 60. Yes. Okay. The correct answer was 3 root 3. So let's go through this one. So the first thing, it always depends on what size figure you have, how many sides it has. So again, here we have a figure with 3 sides, so I take 360 divided by 3, which is 120. 120 gives me my central angle. Okay? So I'm going to draw a line down here, make that a 90-degree triangle. Okay, so my hypotenuse is 2. This angle right here is how much? 60, which down here means it's 30. Okay, this is my hypotenuse. Across from the 30 is my short leg, which is also going to be my apothem. And across from my 60 is my long leg. Okay, so my formula, H equals 2 times short leg, and then long leg equals short leg times root 3. So if we plug this in, 2 equals 2 times the short leg. When you divide by 2 to both sides, we get 1 equals our short leg. So this side over here is 1, which means that my long leg is 1 times root 3, which you can write as 1 root 3 or just root 3. Did I lose anybody?
1 times 66.
Yes? Where did I lose you? Do you understand how I got this triangle, like this being 60 and 30?
6.
So you take 360 divided by 3, which is 120. This whole angle right here is 120. This whole angle right here, 120. This one right here, 120. Because we need to get the apothem and I need to have a 90-degree angle or 90-degree triangle, we draw this line here. And so right here, I just took this triangle out to right here. Okay? So half of 120 makes that 60. And if that's 60, down here has to be 30. Okay. Since this radius is 2, that means all of them are 2. And so I know that this right here is 2. Okay? Based on that, I filled in that this is the hypotenuse, short leg, and long leg. Then we have our formulas that we know for 30, 60, 90 triangles. So the only number I had to start with is 2. So the formula I have to use is the formula with H. And so I plugged in 2 for H equals 2 times short leg, because the formula is H equals 2 times short leg. To find what short leg is, I divide by 2 to both sides. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 1 is my short leg. So I went over here and put 1 for my short leg. Once you know what your short leg is, you can find out what your long leg is. So you go 1 times root 3, which is just root 3. So my long leg is root 3. So on here, what that means is that if this is root 3, both of those are root 3. Well, you have to add 2 of them together. What is root 3 plus root 3? 2 root 3. So a side is 2 root 3. So what will my perimeter end up being? 3 times 2 root 3, because there are 3 sides. And that makes what? 6 root 3. And our apothem is always this line here that ends up making our 90-degree angle. And so in this case, my apothem is how much? 1. Very good. And so we end up plugging it into our area formula. And our area formula is apothem times perimeter divided by 2. So 1 times 6 root 3 divided by 2. Okay? The 2 and the 6 can reduce to 3, and 1 times 3 root 3 is just 3 root 3. Okay? If you were to type this in your calculator and go 3 times root 3, you get 5.2. And on this one, they told us that they were meters, and so these are meters squared. Okay? So either one of these answers is good, and anytime you have units, you want to make sure you add that to your answer. Do we have any questions here? Yes.
Can you add like root 3 plus root 3? Would that equal like 6 or root 6?
No.
It's not.
That's if you were multiplying. Well, no, if you're multiplying, you'd end up going, no, this is 1 root 3 plus 1 root 3. It's like 1x plus 1x. So when you add those together, it makes a 2 root 3.
Okay.
Okay? All right, any other questions? Okay.